Yo, 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 everybody, what's up, what's up? Welcome in, welcome in. Appreciate you guys for hanging out with us tonight. I haven't used StreamYard in so long. I don't even know how to turn down the music. Look at that. Welcome in, guys. We are doing the Lethal Collective tonight, so welcome in. Appreciate you guys for stopping by. We're going to be talking about some Scream 7 action, maybe even talk a little bit about the new I Know What You Did Last Summer. It's essentially 90s horror night, and we're celebrating with some fun friends who are rolling in very soon here. For right now, though, I am joined by the Night Watch Zone. What is going on, my friend? How are you?
I'm doing great, man, and I'm ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, love it. So, Knight, I'm just finding out that Central Time is 2 hours behind Eastern Standard Time. I thought, okay, it's 1 hour, I guess, but I just messed up the times because I guess we were supposed to go live at an hour from now, and that's why we have some late folks. I just want to put that on me because I'm gonna take the heat for that one. So I just got the text from Steven and I'm like, oh, I fucked up. I didn't know what the hell was going on.
It's all good, man.
So I'm just taking the look. I'm taking the heat. I'm just that's all I'm saying. But
Hey,
Knight,
sometimes it happens.
sometimes it happens. They're gonna be rolling in here in a second, but yeah, funny stuff. But Knight, I just kind of want to say, hey, how you doing? How's the weekend going for you?
It was a wonderful weekend, and like I was telling you a little bit backstage, I was like visiting the birthplace, the place where Stephen King grew up, and a whole bunch of great ghost stories and interesting sights. I saw his childhood home. I saw his school that he went to. I saw the house where he read his first horror, story up in an attic, and it was cool. It was really, really cool.
Dude, that is sick, man. I'm crazy jealous. I've always wanted to go to the Stephen King house, like in Maine too, which I know. I mean, have you been there before? Just out of curiosity.
I have. I really have, and it looks so interesting. It's not that it's creepy looking, really, but it's just like odd. But it fits. It's like, yeah, I could see that being, the place where Stephen King lives. It's crazy. It's crazy, man.
No, that's sick though, dude. I love hearing about all that. That's got to be a ton of fun. I actually went to. Did you ever go to the hotel in Estes Park or whatever that The Shining, like he wrote The Shining at allegedly?
No, I've never done that, but I've wanted to so bad because I love The Shining. It's one of those films I loved as a kid, and oddly enough, I may love it more as an adult than I ever did as a kid. And we watched it a lot growing up. It was just one of those movies that if it was on TV, me and my brother and even my mom, we'd watch it. And anyways, I would love to do that someday. I really would.
Oh yeah, that's my one Stephen King thing I've been able to do, and it is very cool. They like have a whole tour of like what he was doing when he was there and stuff, inspirations for The Shining, and it's very fun, very cool stuff. But no, that's very exciting. Are you, speaking of Stephen King stuff, just real quick, are you? I know we're talking about Scream today, but you can't throw something cool like that at me, Knight, and not expect me to talk about it.
That's right.
Are you excited at all for some of the Stephen King projects we have coming this year? We got that Long Walk movie, which is pretty exciting.
Bro, when I saw that trailer, I had never read the story, but my brother, he was really hyped about it and always talked about it, the last several years. And I said, man, one day I'll get to it. I just never have. And I saw the trailer and I was just like, wow, what a concept. I said, this is going to be so much fun to watch. At least I think. We'll see. But I'm really excited about that. I'm excited about this Carrie series that Mike Flanagan is doing.
Yes.
I'm really excited about that because Flanagan, at least for me in general, doesn't miss. I mean, I just love his movies that he's directed. I love all the series that he's done, like on Netflix with the, Hill House and Bly Manor and The Midnight Club and House of Usher. All that stuff has been amazing horror stuff.
Oh yeah. I've literally seen all of his movies, which has been, and most of his series, and everything I've seen across the board, dude's got the Midas touch. I have not seen his new Life of Chuck yet though, which haven't seen that one yet?
I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. And I will be watching it. And like I said, if nothing else, he's one of those directors that I think can take a story and really elevate characters. You know what I'm saying? Like his material, the characters always seem to be very interesting, the way they're depicted. And I think that he just has a certain way that he works with actors from everything I've read and, interviews and stuff like that. Actors love working with him. And
Yeah.
I think it shows in his work, at least to me. Midnight Mass too, man. Midnight Mass.
That's one of the only things I haven't seen, dude.
Bro, I kid you not. You should ASAP. My brother told me that. He's like, just watch it. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll get to it. I know it's going to be good. He's like, no, watch it tonight. Started watching it, and I couldn't stop. I must have watched at least 4 episodes in a row. It was that good. It was amazing.
I'll tell you what, with Hill House, that's how I was. Everybody, I mean, across the board was like, dude, you got to sit down and watch that. Like, what is, oh man. I sat down. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I got like 3 episodes into it in like one sitting. It's fantastic series. I have to see some of the other stuff that he's gotten into. I've seen all of his movies besides Life of Chuck, and he understands horror and Stephen King with a lot of the projects he's done. He's got a great, just a plethora of projects under his belt already, and some good ones coming.
Heck yeah.
I see Steven in the chat saying, would you please I have emailed it to sent a group email out to Knight, Steven, and Fate. I sent that about an hour ago. If you guys did not get it, I can send out the link just one more time.
Okay.
I'm so again, apologies on this. It has been a chaotic weekend. We did an 8-hour stream over on my gaming channel yesterday night. I don't know if you've ever gone for 8 hours before.
No, not on my own channel. I've gone, I don't know what's the longest I've gone, maybe 6 or so. But 8 hours, bro, that's
it was a lot.
Yeah, I bet. I don't know, man. It gets to the point where you're just losing track of time, and depending on what type of stream it is and if you're alone or not, like your energy levels just kind of go whoop, whoop, go up and down. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, dude, I completely understand that. Well, thankfully we got a little bit of boost of energy here right now with Steven hanging out with us. What's up, dude? How's it going?
Hey guys, I was like, boost of energy. Who? I'm looking around the room like, who's bringing that?
We got the conductor of the stew train here, man. We're shoveling coal into this bad boy right now. What's up?
Yeah,
dude?
we are. Hey, buddy. Doing all right. Hope you guys are doing good today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And man, I tell you what, why does there have to be time zones? Like,
Right.
here's a question for us all to ponder. Why can't 6 p.m. be 6 p.m. everywhere?
There you go.
That would be a lot
Something
easier.
To think about, wouldn't it?
Things that
Isn't it?
make you go,
As Arsenio used to say. That's right. I remember that. Just saying.
I remember you saying, you're like, oh, I want to go live at like 6 p.m. And I'm like, oh, an hour earlier? It's Sunday. That's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, he wants to go live earlier. It's Sunday. People got to go to bed earlier or something. I don't know what I was thinking. So that's my bad, dude.
It's all good, bro. It's all good. It really is. And I ended up moving that stream to tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m., which is a very unusual time.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And so a lot of folks that live out, across the world will be able to attend the live stream. So I don't know, guys. 3 o'clock tomorrow. I know it's early. It's Central. It's 4 Eastern. A lot of people are going to be at work. They probably won't be able to make it. It's probably not going to be that many people there. But I'm hoping that if not to promote it, obviously I guess I am. But if you guys are available tomorrow at 3 p.m., I can put a link in the chat, and hey, we'll see what happens, right? You never know. We'll see.
You never know.
Try it out, man. Trying out different times is always a good thing, man. So that's good. But you're not going live tonight. You're going live tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll let you know if that changes before this stream ends. I will let you know.
Cool.
I literally could change that at the end, but let's say for now that's what we're gonna go with.
Okay, rock on, dude. We'll make sure we get a little promotion out there. Do you want to say hi to Blanket? First of all, Blanket, hello to everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for joining. Do you want to say thank you to Denisha for throwing out the first super chat, $5? Thank you so much. Saying, hey Jake.
Denisha.
Hey, Jake and Knight, you guys are the best. Go Collective. I'm glad you're back. Thank you so much. We appreciate that a ton. We're glad to be back, guys. It's nice talking with all of you dudes again.
Yeah, man. It's
Wonderful.
like coming back home. It's like all seriousness. And I know I've said this to Steven before, but one of the coolest things is that we just enjoy having conversation with each other. And the other thing is each of us individually stream so much that like it's so comfortable to be on a stream. It's like, you've got 3 other people that literally could take control of this entire thing on their own. And it's great. It's great.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Always a ton of fun.
Mm-hmm.
It is, man. It's nice to be it feels like just with old friends, and also people that, like Knight said, I'm confident in the amazing abilities of everyone in the collective in terms of hosting, streaming. So it does take that load off, because like you said, we could shut this thing down and Jake could carry the whole thing. Knight could carry it easily. I think I could do the same. And Fate could. So when you're with a group of friends that are also like that with content creating, I think it's amazing. It's so comfortable and fun, and just let your hair down, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let the hair down, have some milk and cookies, and just call it good.
It's all right.
I just want milk and cookies now. No, you can't throw something like that at me. I'm so hungry now. But Denisha, thank you for the 5. We appreciate it. We're very glad to be back. I also want to say hi to Billy the Puppet. Thank you for being a channel member too, Billy. Throwing $2 out there, saying hello to everyone on a lazy Sunday. I think you mean. It could be Lady Sunday. I don't know. Let's go. Let's shout out to the ladies out there. I don't know. Billy, rock on, my friend. Thank you so much for the 2. Appreciate you a ton. Thanks for hanging out with us. Listening on a Lady Sunday. But fellas, we're here to talk about a lot of things. Of course, some Scream 7. Of course, maybe even a little I Know What You Did Last Summer. I'm curious what you guys are the most excited for moving into the rest of the year of horror, though.
Oh man, I mean, I think that Weapons is on my radar because I was a big fan of Barbarian.
Yeah.
So that's definitely one. 28 years later, I'll save that for possibly another discussion, because obviously there's a lot of energy on both sides of the fence for that one. Strangers Chapter 2, I'm so freaking curious if they can come back from the abyss that was Chapter 1. I saw one person say, okay, now we're going to do some new stuff. Now I'm excited. We got Chapter 1 out of the way. But yeah, and of course, I Know What You Did Last Summer. I think, if that movie can be pretty good, I'm going to be like so hyped, because I really want it to be great. I don't know if it'll be great, but if it can have some fun and just kind of be like an adrenaline shot to that franchise, I'd be so happy. I really would.
It needs it.
It does. You're right.
It's dead in the ground right now. Craven, how are you feeling for the rest of 2025? I mean, obviously 2026, Scream 7, we're all hyped for that. But is there anything else coming out this year that you're just like, cannot wait to see that?
Yeah, I think for me, Weapons is one of them as well. I actually did not watch Chapter 1 of Stranger Chapter 1 because I heard the negative feedback was so bad about that movie. I didn't even watch it, so I doubt I'm going to watch the sequel unless you guys come back and say it's amazing.
If you've seen the first 2 Strangers movies, you've seen Chapter 1.
That's right.
Just throw it in the blender and pour it out. Yeah. I got you.
I just didn't.
Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead, Steven.
No, I was just going to say, I'm guessing no new ground was broken, no different originality. It felt like the same movie. Is that basically it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So Weapons, I'm curious about. Definitely, I Know What You Did Last Summer. That's probably number 1 for me for now, as far as anticipation goes. I believe it or not, and I still have not seen Bloodlines, Final Destination, and I need to, because I've heard nothing but good things from most people. And it's. I mean, I've got the movie available right now. I just haven't done it, but I'm going to. That's in the past. So looking forward. I'm disappointed that Thanksgiving 2 is not coming out this year, but we're going to get it next year. So I'll table that. And then I know I'm missing one. Well, Megan 2.0 is out now. And I haven't seen it. It just came out. I would have said Megan 2.0. Help me out, fellas. Is there any other marquee movies that you know of that I've forgotten for 25 that slipped my mind? Anything you know of that's like,
Black Phone 2.
oh,
Yeah,
that's
too.
one. That's one. Yeah, I mean, I liked Black Phone. I liked it. I've only watched it once. We put it that way. I
Yeah.
think it was. I thought it was okay. It was okay. It was a good movie. You know, it wasn't great, but I will watch the sequel. So I guess I'm
It's
going to
the-
rest there. And I'm going to say Bloodlines because I haven't seen it, and I know what you did last summer. And I'll throw Black Phone 2 in and Weapons first, and then Black Phone 2.
Rock on, man. It's
Yeah.
been a huge year for horror for sure. It's
It
been an
has.
exciting time.
Yeah.
But you know, the film that I really wanted to get into, because it is so Scream adjacent, it comes from Kevin Williamson, at least the original one, is the new I Know What You Did Last Summer, which we just got a brand new trailer for. Like, a lot of weird marketing is coming out for this movie. Seems like fans of just 90s horror in general are very excited for it. We got some of the original cast members coming back, like Jennifer Love Hewitt, Freddie Prinze Jr. How are we feeling about this movie? It's, you know, however you feel about the Scream franchise, I feel like I Know What You Did Last Summer, sure, it captures that same tone, but it is a very different type of story, right? Even though it is still 90s slasher. How are you guys feeling with this one? Knight, we'll just do a little clockwise again.
Yeah.
Go that way.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we saw the trailer, the new trailer for it when we saw 28 Years. And look, like I said on one of our other collective episodes, I'm really excited for this film. I guess part of that is because, you know, I was a fan of the original. And part of it too is because I just want horror to be successful. I want it to succeed, especially if it's a slasher, especially if it's a legacy slasher, you know. The new trailer, you know, it was fun. You know, we saw some more character moments, so that was fun. Saw more Freddie Prinze, and that was always good. And of course, my girl Jennifer Love Hewitt. So I was pretty hyped up. The only thing, and I think we touched upon this, maybe Fate specifically touched upon it, is, you know, the story itself, you know, kind of being a redo, obviously, of the original of sorts. I'm sure they're going to, at least I think, or I hope, they'll try to like throw in a twist of some sort in there. But, you know, that's the only part of it that kind of makes me say, well, you know, we'll see how that goes. But I'm excited. I'm truly excited, and it looks as though they're going to have some really inventive, cool kills, which I think is smart, because if nothing else, you got to make these kills look great. You got to make them, you know, a little bit more inventive, and, you know, maybe a little bit more gore. I'm not saying it has to be Terrifier level, but just, you know, make people feel the pain when they're watching this, man. And I think, you know, if they can do that, they've got a good shot.
Oh, yeah. And it looks like they're finding ways to be innovative, but also respectful of the original, which is cool. I'm loving that from the trailer. I like a lot of the new characters, too. I'm a huge fan of Madeline Klein. I love, I don't know if anyone has seen Outer Banks, but I love that show quite a bit. So it's cool to see her from that, I guess, in this. But lots of things to love so far. Craven, how are you feeling about the new I Know What You Did Last Summer?
Yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to it. I just getting the feel from, you know, interviews I've read that it's gonna be some fresh stuff in there. I think it's gonna be some fresh stuff, and I think for Scream 7, obviously we're not there yet, but I'm got that same feeling. Like, we're gonna get some new stuff, and just knowing that they're trying different weapons, nautical based weapons, I think that's so cool, man. And
oh yeah,
that opens itself up to a lot of different ways to kill, very creative stuff. So yeah, I'm really, I have to say, I think I'm excited about that one more than any other movies coming out this year. Is I Know What You Did, and I just hope, guys, it lands. I hope they land it. There's always that worry, you know, that we're gonna get, it's just gonna thud, you know, hit a thud, and but you know, I'm staying optimistic, and fingers crossed, it's gonna be a great movie. I hope it is.
Are you guys do you guys like the I Know What You Did Last Summer movies like as much as the Scream movies, or maybe not as much? No, Craven shaking his head. No.
No, I think that, I mean, you know, because I mean, to me anyways, when you look back at those types of films, especially the films after Scream that kind of, you know, were in that same parking lot, so to speak, like I Know What You Did Last Summer, Urban Legend, Valentine, you know, all these movies, I think I just think that they couldn't reach the same heights of 96. I mean, and of course,
Mm-mm.
you know, 96 is a masterpiece. So, but I still enjoyed those movies in and of themselves. But I never really enjoyed, or I should say, I Know What You Did Last Summer was never at the level of Scream 96 for me. You know, it was in the town, so to speak, but it never got right up on the block of Scream 96.
I think
Yeah.
Scream just feels so fresh. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that I Know You Did Last Summer doesn't. It's just you have this certain kind of energy that it kind of feels like no other franchise has really dared to touch. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
satire on the genre that you're playing in a really unique and specific Kevin Williamson style way that I love. And I think the vibes are there, and I Know You Did Last Summer, but it's not quite. It's just not the same. It's not the exact same magic. You know what I mean?
It really isn't, man. And I'm just to say real quick, and I think a big part of it too. I know this sounds so cliche, but the cast and like I Know What You Did Last Summer has a great cast. I
Yeah.
love the cast for I Know What You Did Last Summer, but when you look at Scream's cast, I mean, Jamie Kennedy, Skeet, Matthew, David, Courtney Cox, and Nev Campbell,
Even Rose McGowan.
yeah, and Rose McGowan, and many others, of course. But I'm just saying,
Yeah,
it's like they found lightning in a bottle because these actors were able to use all of their talents and just pull them together in a way that worked. The rhythm worked, and I think that that was one of the most special parts about that movie.
Yep. Yeah. I'm on the same boat with Night, pretty much. I did enjoy I Know What You Did Last Summer, and I have seen it probably maybe 3 times, not that many. But yeah, I guess my problem was I was going into the theater expecting another Scream masterpiece type movie, and I think that I drank the Kevin Williamson Kool-Aid, which not to say he didn't do a great job with it, but it's like, oh my gosh, look what he just did with Scream. He's gonna do it again.
Mm.
And of course, Wes Craven wasn't directing it, obviously, and it's just a different movie than Scream. That's all. It's a very different movie in a lot of ways. I know it's similar too, though. So yeah, it's. I mean, like I like it. I always say it like this: I like it, but I could live without it as well. If I didn't ever see it again, I'd be okay because I got it. I know the story. That's why I'm hopeful for this one, the new one, because I just want them to spin our heads a little bit. Like, whoa, okay, didn't see that coming, right? Kind of like
Yeah.
Mickey and Scream 2. Did you see that coming? Did you?
Yeah.
That's what I'm wanting for this, man.
I would love to see it deliver a great twist. That is something I'm
Yes.
sorely missing, especially after Scream 6. I didn't really we talked that one to death last week. but yeah, I want a good twist from one of these movies for sure, though. 100%. Want to get to some super chats, guys. Thank you so much for coming through with these. Oliver is following up with his last one saying, I meant to say lazy. We're just making fun of you a little bit. It's all good, my friend. All in good taste, all in good fun. Thank you, Oliver. Appreciate you a ton. Are you the new Jigsaw now that it's getting rebooted over at Blumhouse? Let us know, Oliver. We want to know. Fans are dying to know. Thank you for the $2. Appreciate you a ton, my friend. Hollywood Guy's also been a member for 2 friggin' years. Oh my God, dude. Thank you for the support. Saying, hello, collective. What's going on? It's amazing that one movie that people thought was going to tank made it big. I'm, of course, talking about Scream. That is impressive, man. I mean, all the odds were against it. It was kind of like just this weird low-budget production, and now it's considered one of the greatest horror movies of all time. It's really impressive.
Agreed. Absolutely. It just goes to show you never know.
Make your art, make your art. You never know where it's going to land.
That's right.
Very good stuff there, though. Hollywood Guy, thank you for being a member for so long. We appreciate you a ton. And yes, DJ plays favorites. He can't hold back anymore. He's like, we need the Scream 7 talk at this point. Come on now. You promised it in the damn title. We're getting to it, I promise. DJ saying, throwing $3 out there. Thank you, my friend. Saying, Scream 7 needs to go back to its roots. I think that's a great way to kick off the Scream talk here. Steven, we'll start with you this time. Scream 7. Do we need to go back to the roots? Has it gone too far off the rails?
I don't think it's gone off the rails. I would not use that way to describe it, but I will say, yes, we do need to go back to the roots. I do 100%, and I think that Kevin, again, I'm putting so much faith in Kevin Williamson, guys. I believe that he's going to do it. I just do. I think we are going to get that return to the Wes Craven feel, is what I call it, of a Scream movie. And one reason I feel that way is because if you remember when they started filming all the first interviews with Kevin, at least, he was talking about how he's constantly thinking of Wes every time they film a scene. Like the entire shoot, Wes is on his mind, and he total respect and reverence. And I think that, as Kevin was making this movie, what impressed me was, he's trying to honor Wes and how he makes this film, and he wants this to be a film Wes would be proud of. And that to me is like, and coming from Kevin too, because he worked with Wes obviously closely with 1 and 2 and 4. So he was not just a fan, like Radio Silence were fans of Wes, and they wanted to honor Wes as fans. But this is different because Kevin was on set. He was there. He saw how Wes made this come to life in such a beautiful way. And I think I think he's going to remember that, and he's putting his stamp on it, of course, but he's doing it in a way that I think is the closest we'll get to possibly a Wes Craven Scream. And that's why I'm so excited and hopeful, guys.
Someone who worked right alongside the master of horror, and he's
Exactly.
taking the reins now. I understand putting your faith in this one, man. Knight, thoughts on Scream 7? Does it need to go back to the roots?
Well, I think my answer is a little bit more complicated because I do think it needs to have certain roots, as far as how the characters are developed, how they interact. Like when you watch the original or even those first 4 movies, I enjoy these characters. I enjoy their interactions. I enjoy certain moments. I enjoy the moments that they're in peril because I care about them, And I do think that that's an aspect of going back to the roots. And I think Kevin, I think this movie has a great shot to have that because, like Steven said, Kevin was there. He was right there, right in the midst of the master, Wes Craven himself. So I think this is about as good as we can get as well. But I do think that, and I think they might do this, I do think they have to kind of pave, a new path. And maybe we could call it a new Scream-like path. It feels like Scream, but it is some new things or some new whatever it may be. Because, this will be the 7th film. And for a lot of fans, some fans feel like, hey, man, we've seen this before. And some fans might be like, yeah, I want to keep seeing it. But the truth of the matter is that I feel as though when you're directing, it's just like any art. You want, like Steven said, you want to put your own stamp of your signature on it. So I do think that there'll be some things that will hopefully push us further on this journey in this Scream universe. And I'd love to see that. So I think that's the way it's going to go. It's going to have some things that are very Scream-like, but also some things that will be hopefully fresh, new, make us say, what? And go from there.
Yes. I think, well, I feel like one of the big things people want is they wanted to deliver on some of the similar things that the original does. And I, personally, I've always felt that the sequels hit on, all of them hit on like one thing really well, I feel, from the original. And maybe there's something else that they don't. Can we get a Scream sequel that hits on all those cylinders, because it's a complicated formula. It's not I mean, literally what does Randy say in the video store? It's a very simple formula. It's not, though, with Scream. That's my thing. There's so much to it, and I want to see. Is it an impossible task? I think that's the question when it comes to a Scream sequel. That it's like, are we just always going to have this too high of opinion of this franchise? Are we ever going to get a sequel that delivers that same level of impact, intensity, and just versatility in terms of what it's able to accomplish? I hope so, but we'll see. I also see that Fate Decided is yelling at me from backstage, so let's bring him on. Let's get his take on this. What's up, Tyler? How you doing, dude?
I'm good.
Hey man.
Sorry, busy day. Tomorrow's NBA free agency, and it's been madness. LeBron might get traded back to Cleveland. It's been craziness. So
wow, back to Cleveland? Oh my gosh.
Maybe
That would make me happy and nobody else.
Jake,
I don't think
yes.
it leads, but it's just been crazy. So it's just, but yeah, we're here. Stock.
All right.
Tyler, this is so off topic, but remind me after the stream, I have to tell you something really funny basketball related. Anyways, Scream 7, going back to the roots. Tyler, what are your thoughts on this? Does it need to happen?
Going back to the roots.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it depends on what your interpretation of the roots are, but yes, like the basis, right? I think I heard you guys saying that, you know, Scream is a very simple formula, right? And I agree, right? Like, I feel like they're trying to do too much at times. They're trying to like do the I gotcha too hard sometimes. And you look at the classic Scream, it was very simple, right? It wasn't this complex, you know, like it's like, especially with like whodunits in the modern time, I feel like, and we've even kind of touched on this before, right? Like it's like they're trying too hard to surprise the audience when most people that have watched it like we're familiar with whodunits, right? Like I don't it's not even necessarily about you tricking me. It's more so of how is it executed and the reveal is done, rather than like, no, I never saw that coming. Most of the time in the first 5 minutes you can figure out who it is, right? Or at least who one of them are or whatever. Like very rarely, if you've watched enough of these films, are you able to like predict or not predict or not seeing like, man, I can't even remember the last time I saw a movie that was like, man, I never would have saw that coming. Right? I think it was like Saw when Jigsaw gets off the floor, and I was like, oh my god, like he was there the whole time. Like that was like probably like one of the last things that really stood out to me. But like outside of that, again, you watch enough just horror movies, period, you kind of know. Not even like whodunits, right? Like a demonic possession film, right? You kind of know what the gist is, right? Like a you know, monster creature film, you know what the gist is. There's only so many ways that you can go about this. So instead of trying to be like, haha, I gotcha, just like keep it simple. Keep it a nice dark slasher that has just, you know, little commentary, little, you know, meta, little jokes, right? You don't have to get too complex with it. They're trying, it's like they're trying to do too much. Simplicity sells. You know, sometimes the simple answer is the best answer. You know, so yes. But,
yeah, it's a tough thing to execute, and I feel like that's why everybody's Scream rankings are different. Is what I think it ultimately comes down to. DJ Plays Favorites. Thank you again for the $3. We appreciate it. We got a follow up from Billy the Puppet. A couple of things which I think is interesting. Thank you for the $2, bro. Saying yes, I'm the new Jigsaw. Adam is alive. Insane theory, and I love it. It's crazy. But we also have Billy the Puppet saying, Saw diehards want James for the next film, then one more movie to answer any questions that haven't been answered yet. Not to shift too hard into a different franchise, a very, very different franchise. But how does everyone feel about Saw coming from Blumhouse now? This is a crazy story.
Aren't they supposed to be rebooting the franchise?
Yeah, James Wan, the original director, is in charge of it once again. We don't really know anything about what's the fate of the 11th film is, but it's over with Blumhouse now in like some sort of weird deal.
I thought Jason Blum said something that if he does get Saw, he wants to reset the franchise, like he did with Paranormal Activity.
It does. It is being reported that it will be a reboot. It won't be a continuation to Saw X.
It's going to be a brand new.
Okay.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, because I mean this was reported before they actually when it was like, hey, they were in conversations to get it.
Yeah.
And Jason Blum was, and somebody asked him. So I don't remember exactly. It was a long time. It was like months ago now, and they were like. Go ahead.
Well, James, just to clarify there, James Wan actually did double down on that recently. I think he made a post about it and said like, yeah, we're going to reboot it, but there's no like story details or anything, literally anything yet. I don't even think there's a new script or anything. They know they're going to reboot it. They're going to restart it.
I think they have no choice at this point because like their plan in the last few films and what was supposed to be in Saw 11 was to get it back around John Kramer. And this was the problem. Like, you never should have killed him, right?
Never.
Like, it was the dumbest thing you could have done because he was your franchise. It's like killing Freddy and then trying to have a new Nightmare on Elm Street without him. It's like, it's not going to work. And then they realized that, but the problem is you killed him. So now all these movies are like, this is this is in between 1 and 2.
Right.
This one's in
Right.
between, 1 and 3. It's like
Yeah.
it's getting too crazy and convoluted. I think you have no choice but the hard reset. And
Yeah.
get off John
Yeah.
Kramer, tell a new story, kind of create a new thing. Because how long can you keep bringing John Kramer back? And there was those reports that he's getting too old, that they don't think he can do it anymore.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the other thing. Tobin Bell is he's
Yeah.
getting up there, guys. And
Yeah,
So
he is.
what, like 80? He's 80 something, right?
yeah, he's like 70s, I know for sure, at least in the
I thought he
70s.
did-
I
yeah.
mean, either way, I just my 2 cents. I think that a reboot is necessary as well, as you guys said. I think you just have to do it, and it's going to be hard because
Mhm.
we love John Kramer. We love
Yeah.
what we've seen. He's in, especially going out the way Saw 10 with which is my favorite sequel. It was an amazing film.
Mm.
I mean, kudos to Tobin Bell. What a way to end his time with Saw. It was, you couldn't have been better. Having said that, because I would be nervous as heck if someone other than John, help me out, the director, my favorite
James
guy,
Wan.
James Wan.
sorry, James Wan, blanked. If it was some guy, some guy from France who's never seen the franchise,
Stop with
I gotta
Halloween
do it,
5, man.
Halloween
Come on.
5. I'm sorry. I would be scared as heck. But I have faith in James Wan, much like I do Kevin Williamson. So
Yep.
I think James will be smart. He is smart. He will come up with a brilliant way to
Yeah.
reinvent Saw. And I think it's going to be great whenever it comes out. I didn't, just
Yeah.
my early opinion. So
Yeah,
those are
I
my
mean-
thoughts.
Yeah, and I echo a lot of that, and all the producers, James Wan, everybody, they said that was their biggest mistake, is killing John Kramer. It's like, and not only that, but like they could have done it in a way where like feasibly he could have come back or
Yeah.
whatever,
Or
during.
fake his death or something like that.
Yes.
They did it as definitive as possible.
Yeah, there was no coming. If you are a human being, you're not coming back from that. You know what I'm saying? And so that was their huge mistake. And of course, James Wan, his directing career at that point obviously was right at the beginning. He didn't know that this was going to become what it became, and I get that. But
Mhm.
I do feel very confident with him at the helm and them rebooting it, and it really is the only option now.
Yeah.
And I just hope that they can do something that's really cool. They need to get another actor who can command the screen like Tobin Bell did. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's one of those guys that when he talks, I paid attention, and it was just really cool to see him go through this franchise and do what he did. He's a legend in my
Bryan
opinion.
Cranston.
Ooh.
That would,
Bryan
bro.
Cranston as the new Jigsaw.
Dude, Walter White Jigsaw.
I want to play
yeah.
a game because I'm the one who
I
knocks.
need everyone to walk with me for a moment. Here, let me hold your hand through this. All right, I'm telling you. Well, we saw, because you remember, like before, it was like Hal from Malcolm in the Middle, all that stuff, like this comedic, and then we saw him as Walter White. We saw that transformation. Imagine him and the way that, and he's just a great actor too.
He is.
I think he'd be brilliant. Brilliant.
Oh my god, dude.
Dude,
I'm sold on
he's-
that.
He's an amazing actor. I loved him in the one where he was the judge series on Max
Oh, yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Remember that one?
Yeah.
Oh,
He played the judge and his
Mhm.
son, all that. He was fantastic.
he
in that
is.
role.
He's a
Great
great
actor.
actor. Mhm.
I'm telling you, like James. I know if you're watching, my guy, walk with me for a moment. Like, no, I mean, look, James Wan and his buddy like made that in his what was his college dorm when he, and it was like a little like on a napkin or some shit like that. Like he just they just like had a premise for it and filmed a little like $10 film, and then it got picked up, and then they ended up
Lee
making
Winnell
it.
went to he was in the hospital for like an extended period of time, and like he had this like weird fear that he was gonna die, and that for how somehow the idea of Saw came to him in the hospital is how I've read it, which is crazy. My thing, James Wan directing this transition period between Saw, I think, is a very big deal. Going back to Spiral, like that was a major flop, which is such a shame. Like, in my opinion, it's a shame. I think that movie could have been great, and I think the edits made it not great. That's a big it's unfortunate, I think, is what it is at the end of the day. But it was supposed to be this big transition into this brand new story, and that's not everyone's going to get on board with that. But you got the guy that created it doing this. People are going to be more inclined. I've even been saying a lot. Whenever I talk about Scream lately, I'm like, if they're going to try to do something new with it in the future, I think Kevin Williamson has to be at the helm of it. I think that's the only way at this point people are going to be behind some sort of transitional period from one part of the franchise to maybe a story about somebody else. And same thing goes with Saw. I mean, people don't want to see somebody else play Jigsaw. I don't, but realistically, practically, that just has to happen at some point. I mean, Tobin Bell's like, isn't he almost in his mid 80s or something? Like, dude, he's 82. I mean, God bless him, dude. I mean, oh my God, he made it this far. You gotta love him. But we at some point, Saw is gonna outlive him. Saw is gonna outlive probably us. Let's be real; these are big franchises.
It's already been like 20 years, right?
Yeah. 20 years.
2004. Yeah.
2004, even longer. It's been going on 22 years.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's just gonna keep happening. But Billy the Puppet, we appreciate you. And also he's throwing his 2 cents in there with another super chat saying, I have faith in James Wan, but you need to find another Tobin Bell. And they got lucky with him. Tyler, I think you already answered this one, bro. Bryan Cranston is a crazy pull right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You meet like as soon as we were like, oh, he's literally the first one that popped in my head. I was like, oh, he'd be perfect. Because I could see him, shaved head, looking like Walter White out there. People, I think, would immediately identify with him. And I think you could see him just like...
And he's got the voice.
I don't want him to be Walter White. I don't want him to be Walter White. I want him to be whatever that character is. But I'm saying, I could see him, kind of like a similar aesthetic. And he's just like this, genius contractor guy. I mean,
engineer.
Meth. Walter White went from meth to trap.
He's reincarnated. This is what he's doing now. Yeah. That's oh my God, that's so funny. Billy, thank you so much for all the super chats, man. We appreciate it. Carrie Craves Cinema, an OG, is hanging out with us. What is up, Carrie?
Hey.
How's it going? Great to see the whole collective back. We're all together again, friends holding hands, skipping through a field together. I love it.
We had a really big lawsuit. Things were ugly, and then we all kind of were like, no, I'm sure.
We settled. We all made settlements. We're good.
We settled.
No court.
They all like Halloween Kills, and I was like, I can't stand on. I got to stand on business. I was like,
too big of disagreements there, but no, Carrie, thank you for the 2. Thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate it on a Sunday, nonetheless. One more super chat coming through here from. Okay, this person has hung out with us a ton of times, and I always butcher this name. It's DeChico. I'm getting it right this time. DeChico's hanging out with us. Thanks for the $10. Love the scary clown mask. Saying could be cool if Hank Loomis is killed by Leslie because she blames him for the affair with Maureen that ultimately led to Stu's death. That's a theory and a half, ladies and gents. Since actually, Knight, we haven't started with you in a minute. What are your thoughts on this crazy theory regarding Scream 7?
Well, I mean, that could be cool, man. I mean, anything that's executed well, I could get on board with. I don't know, man. I really, be honest, that's a cool theory. I never really thought much about that, but yeah, I mean, I could see it. Definitely, you could blame him because of Stu, Stu's death. We'll have to wait and see, though. I mean, I'm definitely curious to see what the connection to the original, or what the connection, like we've talked about, to Maureen's death and all of that type of stuff. I'm just curious to see how that's going to work out, and how it kind of keeps Scott involved to whatever degree that might be. I'm very hyped to see Roman, but I'm just curious to how they're going to play that out to get this connection to the past. This could be a way.
Before we get to Craven real quick, do you think it could be Leslie Mocker, like whoever, like one of these new cast members playing her essentially?
Well, possibly. I mean, they've laid some seeds, they really have, just like with Stu himself and just like Five did with Kirby, right? So right. I do think it's quite possible. It seemed like, before the whole shakeup happened with 7, it did seem like, we'd get into some Leslie Mocker time, you know what I'm saying? But now with the shakeup and everything and how things kind of changed a bit and Kevin coming on board and so forth, I'm not sure about that. I'm down for it though. I'm really down for it, to be honest with you. So yeah.
Okay, yeah, rock on. Craven is hanging out with us. What are your thoughts on this? I know you're the conductor of the Stu train. I mean, no disrespect, but in a world where Stu is dead, how do you feel about this theory?
Well, it would kind of be like asking me to all of a sudden become a Klingon. I don't know that world. That world doesn't exist.
Steven, you don't have to answer the question. I'm so sorry.
Wow.
I can put that to the side. No, yeah, I mean,
all you Trekkies out there.
Well, here's the thing too. Even in this particular setup, if things went down the way one of my theories went down, Leslie still may think Stu's dead. She may not even know he's alive. So, in her mind, it could be she may. I don't necessarily think his family knows he's alive anymore. So, anyway, that's a whole nother stream. But I'll go with the flow in this scenario. And yeah, I think any way you can connect back to one, if it's not just cheesy, if it's done well, I like it. Like Hank Loomis, bringing Hank back into it. I've been kind of talking about that for a while. I think it'd be great to bring him back. His character's alive in canon. The actor C.W. Morgan is alive. So why not? Why not? I incorporate it. And the Roman factor is a factor. Because to me, there's only one of three possibilities of the Roman. If you're bringing Roman back, it's either just to use his voice in a voice changer, although I like the idea, as long as it's not the only thing we get. But for me, if it's going to be it's flashbacks. It's going to be either Roman flashing back to the Scream 3 timeline, where we learn new information about Stu Macher potentially, or Angelina, or something there with 3, or it's a connection to the first film, where we see Roman involved in some way with the whole setup. We get more information that involves Roman, and so those to me are the two biggest likely things in my mind. So why not throw Hank Loomis into this? As far as Leslie goes, that's cool. I'm fine if they do it well, like Knight said. But I like the Roman factor. I'm kind of stealing from this to jump to Roman because Knight had mentioned it, and it got me thinking. Roman's there for a purpose, guys, and I think it's to give us new information. It's either a Scream 1 information or Scream 3 information. Or it could be 2, but I think 1 or 3. Yeah.
I definitely think it's going to be something with like Roman's connection to the original killings, because we don't really know too much about that. I mean, we know, I guess we know enough, right? But like, there could be something else that happened. And Steven, something else is that Leslie could have gone after Hank Loomis because Stu's life was ruined because of it. So doesn't mean he's dead.
That's a great point. Right.
Thought I'd throw that little workaround towards you.
Thank you. I didn't think about that angle, but that's true as well. Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be death. TVs don't kill everybody. That should be the slogan around here.
This is why people don't respect us.
I was gonna say Fate's ears are burning here. What are your thoughts on all this, my friend?
Couple things like with it. So I've thought a lot about the Leslie Macher thing, right? And tying in Leslie Macher into this, and we've all made theories and stuff like that about Leslie Macher. The only problem with the Leslie Macher thing is the only one that it could really be right now, as far as actresses go, is Anna Camp, who's supposed to be Sydney's neighbor, right? Wouldn't Sydney recognize Stu's sister? Would she have known Stu's sister? Right? She recognized Mrs. Loomis after she went through an entire body transformation, and she hadn't seen her in years. Wouldn't she recognize oh, that's Stu's sister? Again, it tricked Gail, but again, Sydney, these were Gail, it made sense why it would fool her because she wasn't around Mrs. Loomis all the time. She knew of her, but Sydney was with Stu. They were all friends. Her best friend was dating Stu, and they were at his house all the time and probably around his family, and you probably knew his mother and all that. It's a small town, right? You're at so my problem is I don't think the Leslie Macher thing would work unless it's an actress that we don't know, like, you know, unless they just like they reveal it at the end and then she's somebody that you actually learn about in the next film. But I don't think you can do the Leslie thing in this film, and it sucks because I've thought about this a lot, and the more I think about it, the more I'm like, it just doesn't make sense, right? Because again, like the only actress that we know of right now is Anna Camp, and I just again Anna Camp's like just hanging out with Sydney, and she just does it like, "Ha, I'm Leslie," and it's like, oh, I never saw that coming. Like, it's just like, I just think that's a little silly to me. The Hank Loomis thing, I would love to get Hank back. We've talked, you know, for Scream 6 about like maybe an opening scene with Hank Loomis. I love the idea of Hank Loomis, but I'll say the same thing I said back then, which was, would people even recognize and remember, right? Because he wasn't like a big character. Like, would it matter is my only thing. Like, let's say you had Hank Loomis as an opening scene kill, you'd have to remind the audience that that's Hank Loomis because they haven't seen him in 30 years. He's you know, probably changed quite a bit. He'd be in his like what 60s, 70s, right at this point. And you only saw him, you know, just in when he's talking to the cop, right? Like, so I don't think he's a big enough character that like it would matter. Like, you know what I mean? Like, not to poo-poo on the parade. Like, I would love to see it as a Scream fan, but like I always say, the general audience is the one that these studios try to appease. Like, they know people like us, we're going to watch it no matter what. They want to appease the general audience. Usually why it's somebody, you know, like a Jenna Ortega, like, you know, Drew Barrymore, like, why am I blanking on her name? Help me out, Scream 6.
Melissa Blair.
Samara Weaving.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tyler. You know, but yeah, like things like that. I like it's usually why. So it draws the audience. Like people are like, oh, I know this person. You know, where I think Hank Loomis, people would be like, who is that? You know, like what? Yeah. Like, because the actor hasn't been like this active actor. Like the character isn't like this super known character. I mean, maybe in like a throwaway thing, like Sam's psychiatrist. Right, something like that.
Gosh.
Where, like, just maybe is killed in a random scene, and you find out later. But I just feel like that wouldn't be impactful. Right? I'd rather just not have him in it at all, rather than just like him like showing up for 10 seconds and he gets murdered. Like, I'd rather it be like, you know, a cool scene where he's like there. You know, maybe he has like a new life with like a new family. And he's like a grandpa now because he had another kid after, and because he supposedly he was throwing his thing and everything, right? So like, you know, I imagine, you know, his wife, he's just living his best life, right? Like has a new family, and like Leslie shows up and just takes that all from him. Something like that, I think would be cool.
Could they not? 2 seconds, everybody. I'm so sorry. Can we not reinvent the character kind of like what we did with Kirby though, like along the lines of like, hey, this is Billy Loomis's dad from a long time ago or something. I guess that's my only counter to that.
Well, the problem is like Kirby makes sense to reinvent because she's done enough and, you know, was a big enough character to where it made sense. You know, she was a fan favorite. People loved her. She's young enough to where you could have her in multiple films, right? You're gonna it's not like, not to sound mean, but like you're gonna introduce this like now 70-year-old character that was in the film for 10 seconds. Like it's not like it's not even that he's 70. It's just that like what can you do with him long term and reinvent the character and all this stuff. But like it's just like if he was like some big, like if he was like the cop that took down Ghostface and all this stuff, and now 30 years later it's like he's 70 and he's like, you know, I'm gonna lace him up one more time, like something like that. Okay, yes, but he was just some random actor and character in Scream '96. Like I don't want to. It sounds mean, but that's the truth, right? Like he wasn't like
I hear you.
Prominent character, right? He was just this guy that was there, and his son ended up being the killer. And then fast forward 30 years, and now he's, you know, just some random guy. You know what I mean? Like I just that's my problem is like there's like what do you gain from reinventing him? Right, like what's the plan and the path? Right, he's gonna go Ghostface hunting at 70. Like,
I guess the only reason I even bring that up is because we're inventing Stu's sister. Stu's sister. I don't know why that's so hard for me to say. Lots of S's in there. That's just completely fucking up everything in my mouth. But I will say that Leslie Mocker being Stu's random, being his random sister just this late in the game is pretty out there to me. So I don't know. I wouldn't put it past Scream 7 to throw something out there like that. But DeChico, my friend, thank you so much for the $10. We appreciate that a ton. We have 4 minutes to get one more. Oh my God, speak it into existence. There we go. Carrie Crave Cinema hitting our super chat goal.
There you go.
Thank you so much, Carrie. Appreciate that. Thanks for the sticker of a hot dog. My hunger is satiated. Appreciate that a ton, Carrie. But fellas, I do have one other thing I want to throw at you guys, which I think is really, really interesting. A little bit of a rumor that came through the past couple of weeks. It's been something that's been a talking point for a little while now, but I wanted to throw it out there because I want to get your guys' opinions. We have this rumor going around that we're going back to a location from the original trilogy. Some are saying that it's Sydney's house, and that would check out with a lot of the flashback theories. What are your guys' thoughts just in general on that rumor, on the idea of doing this flashback back to Maureen's murder, essentially? Could we see, even more guest stars than what we already know about, like Liev Schreiber, for instance, coming back, reprising some roles? Knight, we'll start with you, my friend.
Well, I know Liev would love that because he feels as though one of his biggest mistakes in his career was actually asking to be killed in 3. No, I think that, like I said before, I think that showing Maureen that connective tissue of what was going on at that time, I think not only can kind of bring everything together as a bridge, but I also think it brings a lot of weight possibly to Roman and, just the whole machinations being the puppet master and so forth. It could be it could be one of those scenes or one of those little moments. It could be a couple scenes together or whatever. It could be one of those things that we'll be talking about for a long time because, like you said earlier, there are some things that we don't know, obviously, because we weren't shown specifically. We haven't heard specifically. So they could do some really cool things. And like you said, there could be more surprises. And to me, that's why I think that we're going to see that, because those are big things in the Scream universe, right? And if it's done well, it can appeal to the general fans or the general viewers who don't know a lot about it. And it could be something really, really cool and give weight to multiple characters. I mean, that's a win, in my opinion. If you can do something that will put shine on multiple characters and strengthen up your existing mythology, and also maybe carve some new pathways, I mean, like, what more can you ask for? So I'm all behind it, and I do think that we will see something dealing with Maureen's death.
Knight, I couldn't have said it better. I 100% agree. I would just want, there's so many characters coming back, especially ones that I feel we could strengthen and sharpen up a little bit, clarify motives, clarify roles in, things that happened that night. I feel like we could, especially with Roman, I feel like we could do so much with Roman in this movie. That would be cool as fuck. But Craven, I want to throw that to you. Thoughts on just going back to Sydney's house in 1995 when all this went down and the event that started all of this? Do you think we're going to see that in this new movie?
I mean, I say it's possible, sure. I just hope that if they do that, they actually go there, and we don't have to go to a sound stage like they did with Stu's house. You could look. It looked pretty good. I'll admit that it looked pretty good. You could just knew you were on a soundstage. I don't know how else to say it, especially when Chad was out running around getting slaughtered. It didn't feel like you were really there. And so all I can say is if they're going to go to Sydney's house, great. But I hope they secure the same location, the same property. Then that sense of realism will be there. And I'll just say that for wherever location they go to. I really hope that they didn't have to settle for a stage. I really hope that they were able to secure it if they do that, because that keeps you in the movie. It doesn't take you out of the scene. And I mean, the thought of going back, look, these theories are going to be going crazy. The closer we get from now to February, we're going to hear for all I know, we're going to hear the Lollipop Guild's going to be coming to Woodsboro or Pine Grove. I mean, the kind of rumors that they're going to get crazier and crazier. So, at this point, I've almost turned off my ear to rumors. I kind of have, unless it's from a very credible source. I pretty much don't even do videos or anything on them anymore because it's just too far out. And why waste time talking about something that is a rumor? Now, if it's a theory, I love theories. that's different. But a rumor, yeah, I'm gonna hold off, but sure, let's go back to Woodsboro, and it would tie in with Roman. It would tie in with Billy, which I think Billy's gonna be there, and Stu and Dewey even. It all could tie back. So I just say, if you're gonna do it, spend the money and convince the owner to get out of the house for a week or two, and film at their location. So I'll leave it there.
And to my knowledge, that house is still there. I'm pretty sure I've seen like filming location videos where people have gone to Sydney's house, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Well, I hope so, bro.
Stu's house is still there. I think Sydney's house is still there. I fact check me on that, but I'm like 90%, not 99, 90%. But Fate, we love the dog, by the way. Thank God that Socks made it to this stream.
Yes.
Trying to get on it since I sat here and started. I've been like holding her, like petting her, like now because she keeps trying to jump up, and then I saw the comment and I was like, all right, damn it, I'll just let her. Dude, she's literally been relentless. Like
she's a star.
Like, I've been trying to. I'm just like she keeps trying to jump up, and I'm like trying to like pet her and hold her down. And then she puts her like I had my leg up. She like jumped up on my leg and tried to like scoot over, and I was like, and then finally I was like, all right. She's just, what do you think about Scream, huh? What do you think about Scream? What do you think? Do you think that where do you want them to go?
This is the opinion that matters the most, just for
That's
the record.
right.
I think
No, but to answer the question, like, I mean, I okay, if it's from the original trilogy, right? You have Woodsboro, Ohio, or L.A., right? Like, so it's got to be one of those places. The only thing that makes sense is it's a place in Woodsboro or a place in LA, because my guess is probably like a Roman flashback.
Right.
So, is it? My bet would be that it's probably back to Woodsboro, and it's probably like the hotel or something at Marines like where we get some new information with her death, or or like somebody said, Sydney's house, where it's just them. Maybe it's when Roman goes to the door and everything starts. Like, get to the beginning of when this all began. He finds out who his mom is, goes there, goes to talk to the mom. Rena Reynolds is dead. Boom, slams the door, and he goes, "Okay, I'll make sure that happens." And then so on and so forth. So that's my guess, probably how this is gonna go. But yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I'm.
Do you agree? Do you concur? But yeah. Anyway.
No, I feel you. I'm just distracted by the dog. It's hard to think about literally anything remotely.
That's why I was trying to keep her down. Everything becomes about the dog, and which is fine by me. But I want everyone to, like Craven stopped it, and I want to be respectful. And she's just, so I'm like trying to like keep her down, and then I can't control her. She has her own mind.
No, I'm just messing with you.
Massive. I don't know if you can tell. Come here, I got you. Come here. She's huge, man. She's like a big
dog.
Aww.
Right?
A lot of dog.
She's like, this is why she socks, because she has white things that look like socks. White and whatnot. Yeah.
Oh man.
Aww.
She's so cute.
She lets me pick her up and cradle her. I like to all the time cradle her like a baby all the time. Go hold her like it. She loves it.
Oh, dude.
My cats just claw into me when I try to do that. It's brutal. They rip right through me, man. But no, but what I'll say though is, yeah, I feel like it's got to be Woodsboro. Where we are. I mean, it is notable, I feel, to say that we are in Indiana, which isn't like too far away from Windsor, Ohio, I'd imagine. So like that could be a drive. We could be going there for some weird information. I don't know. But I feel like it's probably Woodsboro. I feel like that's like the most iconic setting in this entire franchise, without a doubt. That's where like everything started. And this film once again seems to be going back there. It's got to be something with Maureen. Would love to see Lynn McCree back. too.
Yep,
Maybe we
that'd
finally
be
get to
cool.
see, that on screen, like the actual death. That'd be kind of sick. So lots of things to look forward to, I think. Hopefully getting some backstories and clarifying relationships and roles from different killers and characters across the board. Would love to see that. Well, we are getting towards the end of our time here, fellas. What's up?
Real quick, I just want to say, because I see the comment says she just wants to be a movie star, and it popped in my head. She does what Maxine does every day. She looks in the mirror and she goes, you are a star. And that's what she said. Like, I'll wake up and she's just looking in the mirror and she's just like, I am a star. And I'm like, wait, first off, you just talked. And then secondly, I'm like, you are a star.
There's no cocaine involved, I hope.
Let's hope not.
That's her favorite food.
Oh, no. Oh, Lord. But before we get everyone's final thoughts, though, before we move on here, we got one more coming through from DeChico here. Thank you for the 5, my friend. Saying, I think it's obvious that everyone will come back as zombies, except for Randy, because you can't give the audience everything. I think you just figured out the whole... Did you read the script, buddy? I mean, are you spoiling this for us? Come on now. I'm just messing
Way to
with you.
ruin the movie.
Way to ruin it. Full-blown supernatural in the 7th entry. DeChico, we appreciate the joke. Thank you for the $5, my friend.
Supernatural, and then Sam and Dean shows up and kills
Oh,
Ghost.
man.
Oh, Lord. We found a way.
Jake?
We almost made it, Jake.
I messed up, guys. I'm so sorry.
Hey, just fun fact, I literally just started rewatching that show from the beginning. Just
I'll give myself 15 lashes tonight after that.
I've been editing and all kinds of
No
stuff.
milk and cookies for you, Jake.
Dang it.
In the back, I started it from the beginning. So let me tell you about the journey of Supernatural. So in the beginning, I'm sure.
Okay.
I was about to say, bye, guys.
See ya. But fellas, Scream 7, it's coming. We're in the summer of 2025 here. We only have a few more seasons until this one drops, which is really exciting. Final thoughts on it for now until we don't even have any new footage or anything, and it already seems like everyone has their minds made up about this. So what's everyone's thoughts about Scream 7 right now in the wake of in this uncertain time period for the franchise?
Positivity. I mean, I just think that there's a lot of great elements to look forward to. Whether or not they hit, we don't know 100% right now, but there's a lot of great puzzle pieces, and hopefully Kevin can put them all together. And I think he will.
Ditto. I mean, yeah. It's the time to be happy, positive, optimistic, all that stuff. I think it really is. And I have trust in Kevin Williamson. I love that he did the right thing for the fans and for the film by bringing Marco Beltrami back. I think that's going to be a huge factor in making us have that feel we were talking about earlier. And so I think it's going to be, I think it could quite possibly be one of the most special sequels of the entire franchise. And I think that, I'm not going to say it's going to be better or worse or favorite or less favorite of any others right now. I'm just going to say I think it could be one of the most special, if you know what I mean, of the franchise. So that's where I'm at with it right now. Stay tuned.
That may change. Who knows? No,
Exactly.
I hope to hold your same positivity, fellas, for sure. Fate, thoughts on this on Scream 7 as of right now?
I mean, I'm optimistic. I'm hopeful, right? It's with Kevin Williamson in the helm, but at the same time, still the same writer. I'm not really a big fan of the writing for the last two, and I hope it's not like do some creative stuff. Do some, like we were talking about when I first came on. Get back to basics, right? Like, just my concern is that they're gonna try to do a Scream 3, and I don't want that. Like, Richie's nephew, like, and it's just like, can we stop doing that? But yeah, I'm optimistic. Obviously, I'm gonna watch it. I'm excited for it, but I have a little skepticism just based from what I saw in the last two movies, right? I mean, there were gems with both. There were things that I liked about both, but there's also a lot of things that were just kind of like, so we'll see.
Yeah, I want I want to stay positive. I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm really hoping that this one's good. I want to like it. I want to root for it. So I hope it rocks. And we have, unfortunately, guys, we do have a spoiler for Scream 7 coming through the super chats, which is really unfortunate here. It's going to be the Saw Scream crossover. Billy the Puppet is our killer this time around under the mask.
Oh my gosh!
Sorry if we just spoiled the whole movie for you, but no, Billy the Puppet. Thank you for the $2. Appreciate you a ton. Throwing in a last minute super chat there, fellas. I do want to ask you guys. First of all, the next stream is happening over on Knight's page next Monday, correct?
Yep. Yes.
Back to our usual time, 7 p.m. Eastern.
That is correct.
On Monday. Yes.
And just to clarify, a week from tomorrow, a week from Monday.
Not tomorrow.
Yes. So that will be happening there. Craven's got a stream tomorrow, right?
I do. Put a link in the chat right now. 3:00 Central tomorrow. Talking Scream 7 in the afternoon. A little afternoon Scream talk, guys.
All right, yeah.
You know, if you're at work, take a late lunch break right before you get off, and join us for some Scream talk. It's gonna be a good time, and I hope you guys can all be there. I'd love to see you.
And then Fate, do you have anything going on right now?
No, not on Fate Decide. I am like ridiculously swamped on the sports channels right now. Free agencies tomorrow, so just all that stuff. I do want to try to get a live stream. I gotta find time. It's been madness. But yeah, hopefully I'll try to get a stream soon over on Fate Decided, and then just videos, just post some videos.
Well, make sure to subscribe to all these fellas, guys, because we all talk horror and we all have very unique perspectives on things, which I think makes it very interesting to see all of us kind of talk about some of the crazy shit going on in the space right now. Knight, by the way, I absolutely love some of your video essays that you're putting out. I've been meaning to tell you that, and I just don't. I never have the time to, unfortunately.
They're really good.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
You got some great stuff going on, man. So
Thanks,
very good
man.
stuff.
Appreciate it.
But fellas, thank you for joining me. Appreciate you guys a ton. We'll be back 7:00 Eastern time Monday over on the Night Watch Zone. Stop on by. It's going to be a ton of fun. Appreciate y'all a ton. And as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all. Peace.
Bye, guys.